Good evening from InvestSharp.com. This is Randy Smotone with your Wednesday, January the 5th market update. So we had another great day in the market today. Still up against a little bit of resistance levels, but looking pretty good. It'll depend on which index you look at where it represents some resistance, but we'll take a look at that. So the dollar, copper, and oil were all up today. Gold and silver were down. Light sweet crude futures were up 92 cents to settle at $90.30 a barrel. So looking at the dollar, we've taken out the 30 here, right above it, just closed just a hair above the 30. So when Saskatchewan's momentum's pointed back up, take a look at the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point Figure Chart. I talked about somewhere around this 88 or so level. That we have so far. We haven't taken that out. We've been, we bounced down around it, but we're still holding it and still have this bullish price trajectory of $105 a barrel. So let's take a look at the Russell, since it did have the larger percent gain today, up 1.18%, up 9 points to 795. Now earlier in the day I was watching it pretty close because it was having a hard time around this 792.50, which is about the midpoint of this bearish candle. If you look at a 60-minute chart, you can tell you to sell it, but it finally, eventually later in the day, it broke on through there. But of course we still haven't taken out the highs back here from January 3rd. And of course we're still inside of this bearish candle. It's an inside day, but market seems like it wants to go higher before lower, at least. Let's take a look at the S&P. So the S&P up 0.5%, and we did take out the prior highs just by a little bit. And the Nasdaq, of course, we haven't taken out that January the 3rd high, but still going sideways, looking pretty good. And then the Dow actually was the weakest, but still up 0.27%, and it did take out this prior high right here. So the market's still looking pretty good. Let's take a look at gold, GLD. So gold, it broke down here, but now the volume's kind of slowed down, and we'll kind of see what it did. It took out the 50. I mean, somewhere around this area of 132.50 or so. We got down to 33.10. Somewhere around. A lot of congestion area here, breaking back and forth around this level. So, and we'll see if we can hold here. I don't know if it's going to go lower or not. It's hard to tell right now. The technical indicators are pointed down, of course. But the selling did slow down today. So on silver, SLV did hold the 30-day moving average, caught a little bounce there. So far it's holding. We'll see what it does here over the next few days. Copper got a nice bounce off the 10-day moving average, and holding up well. Euro took a little beating here. Get rid of that. Broke right back. We had some touched, went through it. Evidently this doesn't mean a whole lot there. The volume's kind of slowed down. We are did get caught here by the 150 and the 200s right here on the euro. And then the volatility index. Volatility down 2%, so the volatility is still very low. So let's go take a look at the McClellan oscillator. This is the NYSE McClellan. Right, so we basically didn't move anywhere. Still, I mean, we didn't have a huge, we actually came well off the lows, but we didn't have that huge of a day. We're very weak when we opened, of course, this morning on the futures, but so we're still pretty neutral, not overbought, not oversold. Take a look at the sectors. So 13 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green. The home construction index had the larger percent gain, up 2.6%. The gold index was the weakest for the 3rd day in a row, and it was down 0.92%. So kind of usually 3 days of down. I mean, even though it may not continue its uptrend, I would expect, some gold stocks will probably bounce tomorrow. You might want to watch to see if they bounce tomorrow, because that's 3 days of weakness. It's quite a bit. All right, let's go over to Chart Watch, and of course, a day like today, I don't think it mattered too much. I mean, not everything was up, but almost everything. So lots of breakouts and stuff. This Brookfield Infrastructure Partners, watching it pretty closely here. It's got, this downtrend line, and it did peak above it today. It is back above the 50, so it might be worth taking a look at here. Ashland. It had some resistance here, took it out today, volume popped, the stochastics moved back up here, so another one that's might be, let me look at the Bollinger here. Top of the Bollinger though, might be want to be careful there, but if it can take out today's high with some volume, might eventually get back up here. It may have some resistance to the midpoint of this candle, but it seems like it wants to go higher with the rest of the market. FFIV, lots of volume. Coming back in here. Well, actually, it was just barely above average today. But I'd like to see it take out this 137.69, even though it had a big move today. Until it takes out this prior high, which it almost did today right here, I would probably kind of wait to jump on board that one unless you got in towards the lows earlier today. CRM, nice breakout above that 140. Where it's been having some resistance here, and of course that's where it broke down from that middle of that candle. So it was looking really strong. Baidu, big breakout on Baidu, and let's look at the moving averages. All right, so it's still below the 50, but it had a nice out of this momentum index. Nice, kind of got a little angle and separation here. It looks like it wants higher, and of course it is probably going to have some resistance up here, somewhere around the downtrend line. That's where it's been having some issues. So it's basically, for now, still in a channel down until it takes that out. And let's see, FDX, been talking about this one. I still like it. Still looks good. It's still, a little volume come back in today. It needs to take out this little high here. It's prior high of 94.29, but still holding up real well. It also acts like it wants to go higher. Travel Zoo. Looked at this one before. Also another one that volume coming back in today, broke out over this prior high here of 44.26. Took that out, got to 44.84 today, and looks good. PetroHawk had a nice little breakout above the downtrend line today, and some volume coming back in to it as well. RIM. So RIM, if you take a look a little further here, so RIM looks like it's in this big rising wedge, right? So, and it's been really holding this trend line pretty well, which it did again, right? Held the come down here around the 50, got and it had the 200 to support here, so it had a big bounce up, and it is above the 250. It's all above all the moving averages now. A lot of volume coming in here too, so probably going to get back at least back up to the somewhere around that 65 level. Southwest Energy, still like this one. We still have we've taken most of this off, but still have a position here. We got in here, down here somewhere, so still left some on. It is holding this black line's the 200-day moving average. Got a little bounce off of that. Didn't close below it, so want to keep an eye on that one because it looks like it's got a nice cup and building a base and ascending type triangle base a little longer term. So once it takes out this prior high here, and it gets above that 30, around 39, a little below that 38.75 level, could take off. ECA, another one that was in this triangle, had this breakout. It didn't have a lot of volume behind it though. It hit the 200, got rejected, pulled back, but still keep your eye on it. It is holding. It's right here at the 10. So if these nat gas stocks start going higher, it should go well with it. BEAV Aerospace, breaking out of this triangle with some volume, especially near the close, had pretty good volume coming in. Motricity, taking out the downtrend line and volume coming back in. So this one might have finished its, might be going in a continuation pattern to the upside here. Worth checking out. Hooker Furniture, volume coming back in, still in this flag, but watch it to see it's had a huge run up here, so it needs to take out above this. I'd like to see it take out this prior high here of 1448. So, and it may not be finished going down, but it did have a lot of volume kicking in back in today, so it could break out of that flag soon. L3 Communications breaking out of its little triangle that it's in, and of course it's got the 200-day above it, but it's got the 50 and everything else underneath it now, except for this 200 above it. So a lot of volume coming in it as well. LVS, Las Vegas Sands, peaking out above the downtrend lines, looking good. MGM still holding up well, didn't go do much today, but still holding up well. PepsiCo taking out these prior levels around that 66.50 with a whole bunch of volume coming in. Cree still holding up well, still watching it. CSIQ, watching little solars. It was in this falling wedge, had volume breakout here. Of course, it's got the 50 above at 200, whatever, but it looks like it's might kind of finished trying to bottom down here. We'll see. And let's see, Intap still looks good. I'd like it over today's high with some volume. Next buy point. SanDisk looking good. Looks like it wants to go higher also. Talked about FMCN. Held up well. You know, ran into the 50 there, the orange line after breaking out, but it's holding up fine. No follow through though as of yet. X still holding up well. PCLN Priceline, big breakout for Priceline today. IBM had a lot of volume coming in, had a little sell on a little bit of sell side, but it's still holding up well. It's just not quite ready to rip higher yet, but still holding up well. AKAM. Yeah, this one had also a nice move. It actually had, took the low and high out here, so it had an outside bullish reversal. We'll see if it follows through, but a lot of activity on it today as well. Options as well. CRUS, Cirrus Logic breaking out above that 17 level with a lot of volume. MDRX breaking out, looks good. It's been in this kind of a cup and handle type pattern. Goes. This is pretty significant here. It's been struggling right to break out up here, so this could be a nice move higher over some time. Sohu still hanging out, still the stochastics is turning back up, and it's had some volume coming in, just can't quite get ripping higher yet, but it seems like it's still consolidating a little bit down here, but it seems like it wants to go higher. And of course the ags, they all still look fine. BOT here, let me change this here a little bit. Of course, pot, Mosaic, all still looking good. AGU, IP, even though that they're still holding up pretty fine, even though I had a little bit of selling there. It's not IP. IPI still holding up. Monsanto, did I already say that one? CF, DE, still watching the ag machinery stocks. AGCO. Still consolidating, resting up there after its big breakout higher here a couple of days ago. Apache still is just crazy, wanting to go higher. Hess, same thing. BEXP it pulled back some today, but it's still within that little wedge, little triangle. So still keep your eye on it. Of course, the railroads, still talking about them. CSX, UMP, KSU. Still keep your eye on KSU actually breaking higher today. Then CSC still like this, how it had some resistance up here, it's taking it out now. So probably if you could catch a flag or something on that one, probably be best. And Alcoa still looking good. Aluminum, ACH, Aluminum Core China still looks good. And then I talked about these healthcare providers. CVH breaking higher today. I talked about them yesterday. WCG about to take it, might have right around taking out the previous high, close. And Humana, I'd like it if it takes out the downtrend line, or Humana. All right, economic data on deck for tomorrow. We will get the weekly jobless claims tomorrow at 8:30, and we'll get the nat gas report at 10:30. Of course, that's in Eastern time. And there's really no change. No sense to look at the market signals. They're all on buys. That hasn't changed for a long time, so we've been in a really bullish market. All right, so that is it for today. Thanks for watching.